Hello, everybody, and welcome back to OSL Week 2, Day 2. We have a jam-packed day for you today. 4 games spanning from 5:30 right now to 10 o'clock tonight. We're kicking off the day with Diamond Dogs versus Forsaken. The blockbuster match of the day, we have Gibbsy versus Boosted Billy coming to you very shortly. And if it goes the full distance, we'll see Plague and Demo after that. Following that, the big man Headhunter himself will be taking the reins on Blight for Cat Gem as they face Void. It will be Blight, followed by Krasu and a tiebreaker of Lich. Following that, we then have your other main man, Mr. OSL OCE, Commissioner Lead, Jarms' team, Evolution, playing Ancestor with Lich, MM, and Unknown. And finally, to end the day, another blockbuster match, Reactor versus Kratos, Dark Lord, Blight, and Oni. What a day we have set up for you. I cannot wait for it to get kicked off. But before we do, I have potentially the greatest man to set foot on this earth joining me today. How are you, Hassa?
I am very good, Chief. You said it perfectly. We have some incredible games, and what a way! Seriously, what a way to start us off. We have Forsaken versus Diamond Dogs. Now, Diamond Dogs, formerly known as Globo Gym, or Fredo for some that are OGs. They've been a team for quite a while, so they've solidified themselves as a strong going team, and they've picked up, if not potentially the greatest Billy in the region of OCE on the side of Gibbsy. So it's gonna be a really good, run. And Gibbsy versus Boosted Chief. I mean, I have to ask you, what are your thoughts on that? Boosted Gibbsy on the Billy. I mean, we saw them in another league. It was very close, and Boosted's power went out. So, how do you see them going this week on OSL?
Oh, Hassa, look, it's a battle for the modern day title of the greatest to do it on the killer. It really is. This is potentially the game that's going to allow one of our two premier Billy players in the region to pull ahead and take that lead and take that crown of the dominant Billy player. So I'm really excited to see it, Hasso. I'm expecting some very good things from our killers today. But we are loading right on in. We have Gibbsy the killer versus the standard Forsaken survivors, Hasso. Do you have any expectations of how this is going to go? What do you think the result's going to be?
That is a good question, Chief. Honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I think we look on the side there. We load in at the P100 Billy. So look, if these survivors can solidify themselves and lock in, I think we could definitely look towards a 4K, 4K1. Because it's Gibbsy, I'm not too sure what the killer's doing right now, but I do think overall, we do see some nice survivor perks. Lots of stealthiness is what you love, especially against Gibbsy, a killer that is known for finding survivors out in the open and catching survivors off guard. So I think if we can spot our first survivor here, Gibbsy will be in a nice, good little area, but he is going to have to play fairly aggressive because, to be completely honest with you, Chief, I scrimmed with Forsaken today on the survivor side against the Big Sen, and I'll tell you what, this team does not muck around when it comes to doing generators. They are on top of their game, so we are going to take our chase onto a moor here, and, we are going to get a little bit of a break on the pallet. So what about you, Chief? What do you predict as we go
Oh,
down on a moor?
that's an early down indeed, Hasso, but it did give our other survivors, as you can see, Bang already having about 40% of a gen done, and Boosted, and Zeki now also being on that gen. Boosted was on main, it's a little bit unfortunate we are hooking right on top of that gen. But no, I think like obviously that chase wasn't as long as we wanted it to be for the side of Forsaken, but they did do a very good job of crossing early. The stealth was quite nice for the start of the game. You know, it allowed them to position quite well. We do see Boosted here just having to slowly creep around not to get found around main because him being found right now could be problematic, but Boosted will opt to check his gens. He might suspect Bang is on this gen 10. He did go to the top side. Actually, he's just off main right now. Just looking out, patrolling everything on the map from his vantage point. I do very quickly want to highlight as well a very standard Gibbsy play, bringing the pop and the eruption, opting to not have any totems. He is a particularly with his perks, he doesn't really switch up too often. We do also see here him getting that pop value onto this Gen 10 as Amor is unhooked in the background. Interesting to note that Bang, our Delhi player, was not the player to get the unhook, and he is now in chase. So this could spell problems for our team on Survivor. If he is to go down here, which I beg to see he will be, Hasso, that will be the prevention of Delhi, despite the fact our tunnel out of Amor will be able to escape.
Yeah, I mean, Chief, looking at the VIP tipping for those who save their channel points in the Twitch chat and redeem VIP in Discord, we did see a lot of, it was sort of close, you know, between these two, especially on this set. So, you know, I will shortly, we'll check shortly what predictions we were looking at, but I tell you what, these teams are not to be messed with the Billy set. It was 11 to 9, Diamond Dogs being 11 and Forsaken being 9, so it was a very close tipping. So, you know, this honestly, Chief, could go to tiebreaker very well and truly off predictions, but anything is possible. It's anyone's game, in my opinion. We're going to get the stun. Now, what we need here from Bang is a really good juicer of a chase. If we don't get a juicer of a chase, this could cause problems for the simple fact that we are going to get another stun. Now, hold on a second. If Boosted and Zeki in the background can pop this gen and get a little bit of momentum going, it could be good for them, but they need to get these gens popped, and Bang needs to last for another 40-odd seconds. We are going to get a little bit stuck here, and we are going to get the M1 here onto the pallet. Now, that's going to be Eruption going off on 2 generators, but that should be 2 generators popping. We're going to be on our 3rd stage for Survivors, so 2 gens for 3 stage. Chief, I mean, you look at this, big-time players, Gibbsy is one of them. He's been on Gospel, he's performed under the big lights. I mean, seriously, what can you make of it if you're the Survivors right now, if you're in a bit of pressure like this?
Yeah, I mean, Hasso, look, obviously Gibbsy has done very, very well. What you saw previously was him just able to pressure every active gen, right? He got pop off on 10 and then on Shaq as well. He denied Delhi from being in play, so Bang will not get to have any value from that perk in this trial, but I mean, Gibbsy has done what he needed to in this early game, right? He's basically denied 2 gens from popping for as long as possible. Obviously, Bang was able to allow those gens to pop with his chase there, but now all the progress is gone. Boosted is sitting the only gen that they have progressed right now. We see scratch marks around main as well, and I don't think Gibbsy is going to be all too worried about the gen Boosted is on, because look at these gens top. He's still got this nice little 3 gen. He has 1 gen being worked. He knows 2 survivors are rotating around, 1 for the stealth and 1 probably trying to get on another gen. They can't even work this gen 5. It is so close to the hook, and you could just be so easily sniped unless you are balanced off of that hill. So really, really problematic. And if Bang dies here, getting the 3v1 at 3 gens is not what you want to see, especially with how little progress they have. Might I add, once again, you see Zeki now on a gen that's around 25% boosted starting another, and Bang is dead. This is the 3v1 at 3 gens. This is where Billy starts to get really, really ugly, Hasso, because it really can go either way. The chases need to last, and Zeki is not in a position to make that happen. If she goes down here, and she does, things could get really problematic, Hasso.
Yeah, look, you basically said it all, Chief. To be completely honest, you look at these 2 teams, they line up basically the same. It's not going to be easy if we don't see, you know, a play come in here from the Survivors. They need to be locked in and on point. So, you know, we are, you know, searching around. Gibbsy has been the killer, looking for some Survivors. Now, Zeki unfortunately missed it out pallet. I'm not too sure if she got a bit nervous there and maybe had decided not to go for it or just didn't see it. But we are going to get the Umpul, and that will be Booster getting an Umpul. Now, what we have seen is Booster is very juicy on the flashlight saves. He is going to get a little crouchy there, and he's going to make the pallet. We're just going to opt to take the M1. Now, these Survivors can have to play for a 4K1. I genuinely believe Booster has got the ability to 4K2 if he can, as the man is an absolute grinder, and so is Gibbsy. But I do think either of these teams You have to get a 4K1 to be 4K1, 4K2 if you're on the side of the killer to really solidify your spot and basically be the top dog to win the match now. Moore having a really nice chase here, just going through a fair few pallets unfortunately, but that's just going to be what he has to do to live. So Chief, the survivors are going to have to he's going to have to find another pallet or he's going to be dead here. We do have a Z-Wall to play with. We are going to get the down. No, it is starting to shout problems here, Chief.
Yeah, there are definitely problems indeed, Hasso. I mean, this gen main has a fair bit more progress. Oh my god, and they've managed to pop 11. I was not expecting that to pop anytime soon. But for that chase onto a Moore, they were able to rotate very quickly and get on those gens. That gen popping is crucial because main, slowly but surely in this 3v1 will be able to pop. I would not be surprised if this game is guaranteed to be a 4K1 unless Gibbsy is able to pull out something incredible from this point moving forward. But like you were saying a little bit earlier, a 4K1 still really puts you in a good position in the Billy set, right? You know, the survivors on either side are very well versed and boosted here, nearly getting caught out horribly, but that will be the pop applied to main and another stack of eruption. And problems now is boosted goes down anytime shortly, which he won't be. We're just going back to the hook. I feel like this was suspecting the rotation from Zeki, which hasn't come in just yet. We've called Gibbsy's bluff on that, but another down in short notice before this unhook comes in would basically secure the 4K at whatever result we are at, currently 2, but in any situation could become 1 very shortly. I'm not too sure what Zeki's up to, and boosted will just be down, but Amor does get unhooked in the background. So now problems. We know Amor is the dead heart. If he is chased, he has the potential to last no matter what, but Gibbsy, with a heads-up play, has decided to chase Zeki. Gonna deny the person from getting the pickup on main as well. Boosted will be sitting on the ground. We do know that he is not Unbreak. He is our DS survivor, so he doesn't even have access to that perk, having not been hooked yet. And with Gibbsy unable to hit that flick onto Zeki, he's just gonna go back and take his pick, I think, which does give him another affliction of pop to a gen. He's gonna break the door as well, just give him a little bit better access to the gen. Sees him more very close. If he is able to follow these scratches, keep the slug on the ground, it could be very problematic, but I think now we're just going to play protect the oh, actually, Amor is positioning for this quite nicely, but he has been caught out, Hasso. So problems yet again. Amor does have Dead Heart in hand, and he has Shack Window to work with. No pallet, as Zeki did drop it earlier in the trial. If we do go down here,
No.
and we will, I feel like the 4K2 is all but secured.
Yeah. Hold on, though. If Amor, the build that he's running, if I'm not mistaken, is the Unbreakable. I played his build earlier, so I'm pretty sure if he's the Dead Heart player, he will have Unbreakable on that build as well. Yes, I believe that's Unbreakable. That is going light speed. Now, keep in mind, Gibbsy is going to opt to go back and pick this up. So, we are going to pick in the end now, Chief. The survivors need another generator. They're in a bit of a sticky situation.
And I want to point out, Amor's dead. It's a 2v1. And the only gen they have progressed is main. And we see blood here. We know this is boosted. He's going to get pop on this gen if he chooses to kick it, which he's not even going to. He's going to go check his other gens, which I don't think have been worked at all. Like, I truly believe... Oh, there's a little bit of progress here from 12. Zeki was sitting this recently, but she's still very close by with not a lot of pallets to work with. We have this pallet, Gym 1. She's not even opted to take her distance to it. She's just stuck on this rock. Oh, no, she has actually. Sorry, she's just completely eluded me. Gibbsy also getting a little lost there for a second, but was inevitably able to find her. And the M1s will come in. That will not be the down, my word. The ping not getting involved there. We're having to leave this now, go back to main, make sure this gen doesn't pop in the background. Super weary of what could happen if we are to take this chase for too long, but this generator is not progressed enough. Eruption is still on it. We know Boosted's around somewhere. I'm not too sure where just now, and Zeki would be positioning to be on this gen yet again, taking her distance all the way to 11, but with Truck to work around, this will just be the death onto Zeki. That is the Eruption proc, and if we take anything from here, a hook, a slug, just go and find Boosted, that will be the 4K2. Hasso, all things considered, it is a very good result. I feel like as the game kind of slows down, I want to take a second to sort of talk about what we saw happen, because there was a really big turning point in this game, and obviously it's pretty easy to spot out, right? The second you lose Delhi in an S-tier trial is really, really tough. It's really bad, and it makes you feel really bad on the side of the survivors. So I think as soon as you see Amor take that first down and he gets hooked all the way at 2, Bang cannot be playing as aggressive for a gen at 10 as he was. It basically put him in a position where you feel like that survivor is the Delhi player, because he sees the medkit, you kind of have that feeling, right? It's just getting in that metagamey sort of territory. So he suspected that it was the Delhi, I would assume, took that risk and got the down. And because of that, right, sure, he lost his tunnel out for about a minute or two before he was able to find him more again. Also, might I add, Zeki doing her most to get something from that chase to get the game back going for the survivors, but to no avail. But yeah, I feel like Bang going down in the position he did, not being able to get Deli up in the trial, was really, really detrimental. The survivors of Forsaken really just weren't able to slow down the game when they needed to, which was as soon as that down came in. If they were able to really slow down, because there's no ruin or anything like that for natural like regression, passive regression even, they could have really, really worked their way through that, gotten the trade, the late unhook, gotten 2 gens to pop before the second down, because might I add, right, by the time they had popped their first gen of the trial, Bang was already on his second hook stage, and it was looking really dicey from that position. They weren't able to save him, they sacrificed him for gen pressure, and look what it got them. It only got them a single gen Hasso. So now, I think what we're opting to do is we see boosted all the way at Shaq. We know Zeki is slugged near the 12 side of the map. She could have trolled anywhere at this point, but I think we're going to be making a hatch play. I think we're just going to let Zeki bleed out. Maybe he's going to take the hook eventually, Gibbsy this is. And Boosted will go and get that hatch just to deny that tie condition. But I think Gibbsy has caught on. He has indeed, and we do find Boosted. There's nothing to work with here but a Z-wall, so that will just be the end of Boosted. Is Gibbsy going for a nice little flick, hitting the corner of Shaq in the meantime. That could have been a beautiful scene to end us off, but this will be the final chase of the game. A little bit of ego involved. I'm sure Gibbsy wants to hit something nice on the opposition Billy player. You know, just have a little fun in the end game whilst we can, Hasso. So I'll give you the cast. Feel free to talk about the chase.
I mean, look, you gotta digest a lot of things out of games like these, especially big ones, because, oh my goodness. So, Gibbsy going for something really crazy, just trying to get a bit of aura going on his way, so... What the heck? I don't know how we've made that. We're going to Champion of Light. So Boosted having a really nice chase here now. He was still going to have to last another 90-odd seconds if he wants to get this hatch. Now Gibbsy is going to bam the L window. So the truth is, Chief, I think these survivors have played beautifully against Gibbsy. Gibbsy's not really someone that you just are gonna out. In fact, you're probably gonna average a 4K1, a 4K2 at best results. So it's sort of, you know, you get what you get, and you know, I think that's what is gonna happen. You know, it will be a 4K2, but the truth be told, I mean, this is possibly the region's greatest Billy, and probably is without a doubt. So Boosted putting on a really nice chase here, though. I tell you what, like, even though it does look like he obviously won't be getting the hatch, he is playing this beautifully. So very nicely done. So yeah, I mean, we obviously do see a crawl here from Zeki, but yeah, Boosted's obviously going to go down eventually. You'd assume so, unless they're playing for something here. I mean, we've probably got about another 45 seconds, Chief. I mean, if this man can last, he won't. So he will go down here unless Gibbsy does something crazy to mess up. But, you know, I do think that there is a lot to, you know, take out of this.
Yeah, so I agree.
On both sides.
I think this was definitely an interesting set. Like I said, I feel like if Fast Survivors were able to slow down the game a little bit earlier, like I was talking about just previously, we could have definitely seen them get a better result than a 4K2. But it is a 4K2 nonetheless. Gibbsy was able to capitalize on every single bit of ground he was given by the Survivors. He's done the most he needed to. Achieving a result like this, even though it is Gibbsy, like you said, probably the best Billy player we've seen in the region, it's still no easy feat to 4K survivors of this quality, right? It's still a very, very difficult task, but the man has done it. You have to give and welcome back, everybody. We're still on Billy. We did just see Gibbsy achieve a 4K2 result. Can't be too surprised when it's that man stepping up to play the Billy, but nonetheless, an incredible result. But it is worth noting, the man up now kind of has it nice. He's definitely a player that can achieve something similar. It is Boosted. He is back on the Billy, full proper Bogan Billy, as some have said before. Hasso, if there's one man who's going to be able to get a 4K2, it is him. Do you think he can do it?
Yes, I wouldn't put it past Boosted to do it. In fact, I'm confident that he could even pull it off. You know, being confident about, you know, something, or just thinking you can do something, to actually being confident that you can pull it off and do something that is not very likely to happen, but you're that confident it can. That's me. I genuinely believe if Boosted can have fast chases, he's going for the aggressive build, and he's going to catch, I'm not too sure who this is off guard, and he's going to be Gibsy, so he's going to have to play as aggressive as possible. Now keep in mind, Ruin is up, so that is going to be a big play in this game. Now, Boosted is going to let this pallet drop. Now, you know, obviously, Gibsy being Gibsy, the man can play both sides of the table. He's, you know, aced almost everything that he can do. There's not much this man cannot do, so he's going to be the man that buys time as they're going to double that main gen out, I believe. And this will not be a tag, this will be a stun. No, we will get through. Gibsy playing very nicely, and he's going to get the window. So Gibsy playing out of his mind right now. This is going to be a double pop here unless we can make it all the way back to main. It's not even main that's been doubled, so this isn't too bad for Boosted here. He's going to have to find some other survivor, but overall, that Ruin is going to have to be a big part to play in a situation like this. We are going to find Supersaurus, and you know, he won't have much to work with here, but overall, Boosted is going to catch him off guard, and he possibly might make this window, and he is, so he's not the life player, but there is still a lot to work with. So Supersaurus, a very good mechanically gifted player, knows how to play the survivor side very well. Now Chief, if you're in a situation like Boosted, we are going to get the balance off. So if you're in a situation like Boosted, what do you do here to pull it back into your side? Like regain the reins and sort of lock in?
Yeah, I mean, this is really problematic for Boosted. Obviously, so I'm not too sure if you noticed, he opted to chase the No Mother Survivor, which normally isn't considered to be all too good of a play, and this is the second chase Boosted is having to drop. He's so worried about these gens. He does have good gens top, he still has Ruin up as a little consolidation, but not being able to get that early down onto Nomizer is a little problematic, because I want to very quickly point out their build. That is DH, DS, Deli on the Nomizer, which is a very peculiar build in OCE, but it's pretty common elsewhere. It is very, very popular, and you can imagine unbelievably strong, and that will be the first down onto our Deli player, but still the DHDS no less. So it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. You want to find Deli and you want to chase it, but you don't want to tunnel Nomizer. This survivor is built to last against Billy. He has all the tools in the arsenal, and for that first down, that Gen main's gonna pop, and look at this Gen 2 Hasso, it's already fucking and it's about to pop itself. We could be seeing 3 gens for the single down. Obviously, once again, no Deli, which is unfortunate. Renger here able to flare the chain of Boosted, potentially getting this pallet dropped and not taking the M1 in favor of trying to break with the sword. Doesn't even get it. We hit the bus corner. Boosted is not having a game to remember right now. This is looking really, really bad, and yet again we're having to leave Chase. We nearly snipe Philly off of the gen there over at 2, but he does have this nice little RNL tile to work around. We're going to zone him towards the hill. We know that he is in the balance landing survivor, so getting him away from his pallets is exactly what we need to do, but a window and pallet still to work with here on the 12 side of the map. He will now cut off that window with Bam. Only a pallet to work with now. Philly shouldn't be able to last too much longer. Boosted losing the 50s though. Philly able to avoid getting down by vaulting the pallet. Stuck here though, doesn't have a lot to work with besides the Z-wall right behind him, opting to go back to the bus, having the window and the pallet still dropped, but this will be not a down yet again. Boosted having to fake the window. Billy making the vault and around, not getting down by the chainsaw, back to the pallet. This is exactly what you need to see. And once again, Boosted has to leave. This gen is being worked in his face. I believe it is by Gibsy yet again. Once again, you're dead hard survivor. This is not a chase you want to take. And the game, slowly but surely, is slipping out of his hands. That is the dead hard from Gibsy. Beautiful stuff. He's going to be able to last a little bit longer, making to tile 11. Does only have matchsticks here to work with. This could become problematic. The M1 not going to be too strong, but yet again, we can't even commit this. Look at those gens. Look at those gens. They're about to pop. Gibsy is still here buying as much time as possible. Gonna force. Doesn't have DS. I mean, another gen's gonna pop, and that's the win.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the tie, sorry.
It isn't over yet, Chief. No! That's 2 gens!
Oh my god, they were
different
split.
gens! You're
That's
kidding.
just the game.
That is the game. I thought they were doubling, to be completely honest with you. That is, pardon me, that is incredibly well done from the side of Diamond Dogs.
And Ranger's gonna pop.
Line up, and yeah, Ranger's gonna pop. So this could be 3 stages now. You know, we aren't, because you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna
waiting
force
for his DS.
the DS. and we're going to get away. So we are going to slow vault. We are going to get the DS, and the gen is going to pop as soon as that's happened. So the gen goes through. Supersaurus is probably working a shack gate, or if they're the gates. So honestly, it is looking really, really good for the side of the survivors. This honestly could be 2 stages if we hit our dead hard. I mean, Philly's working this gate at the moment, and it is looking like they're going to only get 2 stages unless we can M1. But we are going to have Philly Fry turn around and come in for a hit, I believe. No, so we are going to get the down there onto Gibbsy and Force out. But that will be 3 stages nonetheless. Nearly the Beamer even coming into play on the side of Philly Fry. So very nicely done on the side of Diamond Dogs. And yeah, that will be the game. So Gibbsy absolutely putting a performance on. You know, very incredible. It's never
Only able to collect 3 stages on the Billy. My word, do we have things to talk about with that later. But right now, we're about to see Boosted's Plague, another killer he is infamous on. And it's pretty ironic, Hasso, because I don't know how you feel about this set, but to me, this is complete inverse to Billy.
Yeah, I mean, there has been a switch up. The big man, JT Neats, putting his hand up, repping his team. So good to see the big JT locked here. You know, I was a bit, you know, confused to say the least, to see Gibbsy off the lineup. So clearly they've got a plan working, and JT must just be more confident than Gibbsy on the M1s. So Boosted running a very strong stock standard build, Eruption, Corrupt, Painraze, Bam, Boozle. So Chief, for the Plague, I have never versed the Plague, never really understood the Plague. For a set like this, how does the killer play to get the best result? Is it you get your freshers out your way, or is it just hard tunnel?
Oh, look, Hasso, it's a very interesting set. Like I said a little earlier, it's basically the complete inverse to Billy. It's a set that revolves around the survivors playing as slow as possible because they will be injured for the entirety of the trial. You need to stealth up really slowly, not get infected for as long as possible. And as you can see, right, that stealth is taking a really big precedent, but
Oh!
JT's been found edge map. This will be an early tag, and he's having to run bottom. We will be denying the tag for as long as possible on this. Sorry, the infection, I need to say, not the tag, because we will be getting the survivor infected, but Problems team. He is crossing to top. Now, I'm not too sure if you spotted Hasso. We do have a 4-gen top, and our Corrupt is bottom. He's running into all of our gens, and he will be getting infected now. 1 hit to down. JT has to last. Our survivors need to cross, and he somehow needs to get away from these gens, because the longer this chase goes on, the uglier it will get for our overall position. But JT does have a build that can work nicely. He's got the Quick and Quiet, he's got the Dance With Me, the Resi, and the Lithe. It's a pretty strong chase build, but to no avail. Look at that. That's the first down, and our survivors doubling a gen bottom and only having 1 cross to top. That will be our saver most likely, and I'm sure they're just conceding the fact that they're going to have to play top for a majority of the game. But lovely to see, Hasso, I will point out. There are no other infections on the board because Booster spent all of his time applying the infections to the top side generators and the windows, the resources all up here. We have prevented infection for as long as possible. Our bottom survivors will not be infected. They're being able to work a little bit more aggressively, having those 2 health states, and we do have a red vomit bottom as well, so that's denying Boosted from being able to use that to hold. But 1 of 2 being collected, he's going to go right back to that hook. We know that Renga is close by, and all he needs to do now is sit on this hook because that down was pretty early, and the gens up top are pretty holdable. So the longer JT sits on hook, the more we are able to deny that unhook. The better position Boosted will be in for his late game, because the survivor's going to have a really hard time crossing through the Suffo choke. And if this pull never becomes free because Boosted's able to sit here with his power, JT's most likely going to go second. There's not a lot Ranga can do.
Yeah, I mean, you said it perfectly. They have to get this man off the hook before he goes second. Booster being boosted, I know for sure he knows there is a survivor around here, and we have seen that there is a survivor, but he is a bit unsure, so we are going to leave, and that could honestly be an unhook, and there it is, bang, before second. So hold on a second, we just pause the clock, we rethink, because those 2 gens in the background being worked by Supersaurus and Philly Fry, I mean, JT Neats is going to have to last for his life here. If this man doesn't last, it could be over. So we are going to avoid, and we are going to get it down here. So we are going to see 2 gens pop for that. Now, Chief, the situation here is JT's been hooked top. Now, all the rest of the gens, we have one mid over towards, I believe, that is 3, but we have all our gens top aside from that one. How do we play for this 4K1, 4K2?
Honestly, all things considered, Hasso, having JT last basically all of power, Renga now being infected, which isn't what you want to see, but would be inevitable as we do creep closer and closer to our killer on the side of the survivors. But because we were able to last Red Vomit, because JT didn't go second on Hook, the position for the survivors is pretty good. Obviously, when you have such tight gens on top, Suffo, and you don't have as many resources as you would like, JT did race a few things main. The unhook does come in, by the way. So this is exactly what you need to see. JT now just needs to last, even if Philly does play with him to take a hit, which he will be blocking him from the window, but he is vaulting right into the Loving Embrace and boosted life, buying him some time extra as the BT runs out now, having this pallet mid to play around. Philly most definitely following that chase. We do get the stun. This will be able to give him a little bit of extra distance. He can make it all the way to mid. Look at this lovely little window connecting to the pallet. He has to last now. It all comes down to this chase from JT. The longer he is able to last, and we just win that 50. Sorry, we don't even, because we don't make this around the pallet. So that will be JT dead at 2, but we do see someone over at 3, and I would assume we have someone on the gen at 2. We do indeed someone on 10 as well. We do have a nice little split on the gens. Ranga having to take as far distance away, because if he is found out on 3, it could be very problematic. But look at Super on 10. No infection on that gen, nothing to worry about. And Ranga's already in chase. This is a little problematic. Ranga goes down quickly, and the Red Vomit now picked up by Boosted. Ranga's decision to cross to the bottom side of the map, giving Boosted a little bit of pressure, a little bit of alleviated pressure even, so that way he's able to cross for free, not worry about this Gen 3 popping and getting his Red Vomit back. This could now spell problems for our survivors. This was what was so good about the early position that I didn't get to mention earlier, Hasso, was that he wasted his top Red Vomit for not a lot. He basically just got another stage onto his tunnel, which is now dead. The 4K2 is still possible, but holy my word, as these gens are progressed. Supersaurus needs to do his best to not die on top of this gen, but with the Red Vomit in hand, and that is a tag. A very bad tag to take, might I add. He's just stuck here, and that's gonna be the down on the Paladin 2-tap on our most active gen. If this is a pain res nearby as well, very big problems. This is not what you needed from Super at all. And this save is going to be so hard to pull off, Hasso. We need to get somebody cleansed real soon. If we want to get Super off this hook, there's nothing they can do. That he's going to have to sit until this hook is given for free. But the gens are so close to it. It's right in the middle of them. It's a pain res. You can't even do... Like, you can't do much. There's not a lot you can do at this point. You kind of need to get him off the hook for free, but Boosted just isn't going to give that up. We see Philly in main. We know that Ranga is sitting on 3. The gen will be popping very, very shortly, but as soon as Boosted sees that gen pop, it's going to be really problematic. That's so much free info. All he needs to do now is commit this down to Philly. Look, he knows where Ranga is. He doesn't need to worry about him getting the unhook in the next couple of seconds unless Philly is able to last. And look, he makes another pallet. Boosted's making the heads-up decision to leave that chase, forcing the trade, but no. Ranga's going to have to cross the bottom. Super will be sitting on this hook for a little bit longer in the middle of the gens. No trade able to come in. At this point, Hasso, the gen at 10 is regressing. It's going to be really, really low progress in a couple more seconds. We don't have any position for our survivors to be able to get this unhook. Philly is back on that gen top mid on that 2 water tower. I don't know what we can expect at this point, Hasso, but I'm really starting to feel a 4K1.
I mean, I remember a situation like this, DBD, the ranked server, it was me, Jarms, and Symmetry, and it was a 3v1 now. These are literally the exact same gens, when I say almost pinpoint perfect, and you can't, you have to get the unhook without giving away a free down. So they're going to have to last here. Ranga's going to have to last here for as long as possible, or it will be literal problems. This can happen in any situation. Now, keep in mind, he is going to make this pallet, and we have tried to dash in front now. We are going to send it towards the bottom side now. I probably think Boosted will just go back and commit to one of his generators and try and catch someone off guard. And we do catch the big man, Philly Fry, off guard. It is going to be the sprint burst play here. So, I mean, Chief, Boosted's in a nice spot. He's got beautiful gens. I mean, They're fairly good gens. He doesn't have power, I don't believe, but the survivors, they're in a for Super to get to bot on the map is crucial, so he doesn't go down. But what is their next play from here on out?
I mean, look, you're definitely right. Super being able to make it bottom with that tag, just hitting BT with a couple seconds left was crucial. Him not dying top has basically allowed them to get all of that pressure. I mean, you saw 10 and 2 both have a lot of pressure on the board for those chases, but what becomes really problematic now is that, as you saw, Boosted was just able to leave that chase freely. He didn't really have to worry about what was going on bottom because there's nothing for the survivors to do down there. You can't even reset unless you want to give the killer power, and if you do that, things start to look really dicey yet again. And look, we're not even needing to kick this gen. We still have Eruption on it. We know that all of our survivors are on the bottom side of the map. We haven't witnessed anybody cross because the person trying to cross right here was just cut off. They're having to enter even further back to the bottom side of the map. And it's giving Boosters the territory, right? He's able to hold the mid choke yet again until they start cleansing, which once again will feed Boosted some red vomit back. He will be able to go and collect that, and that's when Plague starts to become really, really lethal. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation yet again. We really need to play this meticulously for our survivors, and the longer we get pushed to the bottom side, the longer Boosted can be here with us. And if he's able to get the downs here, get another pain risk, but my word, Ranga has done just enough, able to jiggy to Shaq, getting this pallet dropped, and I don't know if you saw in the background there, we did just see, I believe it was Philly, hop onto one of those gens. They might even be doubling, and if they do, I wouldn't be too surprised if that gen is gonna pop. It does. That's 10 popped. That is not what you want to see. Philly is right on a gate as well. That's beautiful stuff. This is definitely out now unless Boosted is able to get very, very sluggy, but we're not even going to be able to catch the gate in time. It's all the way at one end. We have Ranga on a gate, bottom side as well. We have Super in chase. The person with the least amount of stages, he's going to go down if he's able to force. He has any means to fake the pallets. That's lovely stuff, but he does go down, and with that, both our other survivors are out of the trial. That's only 6 stages and 2 fresh from what really could have been a 4K1. So that turning point of, like you said, getting that unhook for free, Boosted just went to go kick the gen at 10, apply his eruption. He was really worried about that. It gives you a lot of time to pressure gens. Even if you let them sit and go second, if it's for 3 generators, it can be so worth it at times. And it's something I really want to see Forsaken take on in their gameplay, because once they make that step to being able to slow down the game whenever they choose to, mid-game, and not relying on the tempo set by the killer, they will look dangerous, really, really dangerous. They'll be able to compete with the best teams we see in the tournament, but right now, that's where they really struggle. And if they do that in this match, it can get really, really ugly. The quicker that Tunnel Out dies, if he is just kind of farmed off that hook, the more problems we're gonna have, the more likely this becomes a 4K. But once again, textbook Plague. Ranga hasn't even decided to cross the map yet. He's just getting his infection on all of these gens, and my word, look at them. We have 3, we have top mid, we have 1, we have main, and we have 11, a 5 gen. And is it holdable? Oh my word, it is. There is some nice resources here in mid to work around if the chase does have to come here, but every death will need to be bottom for the remainder of the game. You cannot be dying in these gens. The Plague is a killer who is an expert at holding down generators. Very, very akin to Singularity in that sense, where they are able to just stall out games forever with their power and with the pressure they have passively on the map with their infection. So, if we do get another early death into these gens, we nearly find someone in that locker. I believe it is just a more. It will be, and this is exactly where you need this chase to be. He's able to avoid the infection for as long as possible, but that window will be infected. If he is devaulted, he will get sick. But Shaq Pallet still to work around. This will be not getting dropped just yet. He's opting to greet it. Ranga will be vaulting the Shaq window into the loving embrace of Amor, but once again, he's able to make that pallet. This will be the infection finally coming in. It will be creeping up on him, but because of that, we know this chase at Shaq could last way too long for the likes of Ranga's interest, so he's opting to leave, go back to his gens and remain topside. That is what's important for him. He's getting his infection reapplied to everything up here, and that's really what he needs to do. But lovely stuff from Boosted and Amor. They've decided to stay bottom. They're just going to sit here for as long as possible, play as slow as possible, because Ranga can't afford to pressure these gens unless he wants to lose a lot of pressure on the top side. He's going to let them go for free, and Boosted and Amor are fully aware of that, so they will be taking 2 generators out of the trial, basically for no pressure at all. And it's all up to Ranga to hold these gens top. So, Hasso, as that Corrupt does end, Boosted and Bang hopping on generators.
Yeah.
Is this the start you want to see?
we like to see slow gameplay, Chief. We really do. Against the Plague, this killer needs to be played correctly at all costs. You know, you can make some mistakes on other killers, but this one is detrimental if you make a big mistake. So, honestly, I think Ranga is, you know, in a good spot. He's got a beautiful amount of gens in a great area. So, I think it's going to be Diamond Dogs' game, but anything is possible. We did see Amor has now gone fully infected. We are going to infect this pallet. Now, we are going to break it. In fact, probably the smartest option. So, Shaq is useless except for Death Spot. So, they need to get rid of these two gens, but you want to almost split one so there is one left at bot side, so it makes it hard for the killer when it gets down to one gen remaining. But overall, these survivors need to have a really good chase. Amor, being one of those survivors, he knows how to play this killer. He can play anything, and look at Big Amor. I mean, this man loves his 1v1s. He's good mates with Anger DVD, and those two boys always give themselves the competition. So, oh my goodness, Amor playing beautifully right now. He is going to get zoned here, zoned back to Warchak now. His best bet is to just burn as much time as possible. If he can make it anywhere, or just hug it. Here comes Boosted out of the blue. He's just came out of nowhere. Boosted's going to get infected here, but this is beautifully well done because now it will allow both Amor and Boosted to make a resource and get away. So even though Boosted might get damaged here, he's going to greed the pallet, so we do swing through that, but it won't matter for Boosted because Amor's chase is still happening. Amor is keeping the chase bottom. This is what you absolutely love, Chief, if you are the survivors. Keeping it away from those top generators. So Chief, right now they're doing fairly nice, the survivors. So Ranga's starting to probably get a little nervous because he knows that he needs to get it down and get his pain rates up as soon as possible, or it is literal problem. So we are going to spot out Amor. Amor's probably going to play for a stun here. If he can play for a stun, that would be incredible because it'll give them the chance to get the power out the way. So Amor getting a bit greedy here. He's going to greed the pallet again, and Chief, you have to play these cards perfectly, and we've hit Amor through some ridiculous angle, and Boosted will not be there set up for the flashlight save. What are your thoughts so far, Chief?
I mean, look, Ranga has done what he needed to in that early game, like we talked about. He set up top, he did what he needed to do, allowed the game very slowly but surely, though, to slip out of his fingers. I mean, that's two generators popping, and like I said, he was willing to concede these bottom gens. I guess he just wasn't, because look at that. Two generators top have conceded, and we spent the whole game on the bottom side of the map away from these gens. We know Boosted is still close by. I'm not too sure if he would have crossed top. I'm assuming he stayed bottom. He's just going to be sitting somewhere for the pull eventually when it is free, but I mean, at this point, it's really, really interesting. Actually, sorry, Boosted is all the way at 1. He's going to pop this gen real soon, and there goes our 5 gen. It will be a 2-2 split. Only one hook in the trial. Bang here, still not even infected. Zeki also up here, still not infected. They both pop gens up here, and they don't need to cross for any reason, right? If they can pop these 3 gens for free with Amor dying on hook and just get out from that position, that's the game. They don't need to worry about Amor. They put themselves in such a lovely, lovely position to get out from this game. It just came down to Ranga's early game decision. Like I said, I don't know why. I really don't understand the decision to stay bottom for that long. I know we wanted it down, but surely you need to understand that even though the win con is only 7 stages or 6 stages and 3 fresh, you still need to protect your gens as Plague. You don't have chase potential. You are just an M1 killer until you get your red vomit, and he had to take his red vomit for only a single down. But Amor will go second in the background, so that is now 2 of the 6 stages needed from Ranga. That is what you need, and Bang was here positioning most likely for this unhook, and it will be a tag coming in, but never mind in the background as Bang was being a distraction. I believe it was Boosted already there to get that unhook, but if Amor does die now, the 3v1 against Plague is always going to be difficult, even with the gen spread. Although they are very, very nice. We have top mid, we have the 2 bottom gens, and we have a gen all the way at 11 to be working. So if Ranga is able to get it down quickly and deny another gen from popping for this chase, he could still be in a position to get the result he wants. Although with Bang still there to take a hit. Boosted there, always around being able to play for a flashlight. Oh my word, I've just noticed the top mid is like 99, and we know that Bang is on a completely different gen. I don't even know if we're going to get time to get this down in general. He's already opting to leave this chase, grabbing his red vomit top. He knows he needs to start getting sluggy or playing for his freshes. If he's able to get 2 quick downs with this vomit, get them both on hook, make sure Bang is one of them as well, because if Bang goes down and everyone else is still broken and injured, we will be seeing really big problems. We're not going to be able to get the survivors off hook very, very easily, and if they're right in the middle of our gen's top that we are working, we know that they are definitely working this top mid gen, and I'm sure the other one is 11. Things will be very problematic. Renger will be able to get that, and that is the down onto Zeki, greeting for that fast vault just a little too much. That is going to be our 3rd stage of the game. 3 of 6, the 2 freshes already collected. If we get another down, I would be really, really worried. We need a down fast for Renger, and we need our survivors to not be found if you are on the side of Forsaken. So Hasso, I don't know if you've just spotted, by the way, I want to point out, I just saw a more rotating to 11, so if Renger spotted that, things are going to get really bad. He does already catch the scratch marks. Hasso, anything can happen at this point. I would be really worried. The red vomit still. Do we get the down?
Yeah, I think we will. Yeah, so this is starting to spell some real problems here. Boosted's gonna probably pull in a matter of seconds, pull Zeki off the hook, and that is gonna be a difficult thing to do without. So the pull needs to come in any second from Boosted. He needs to get this pull, in my opinion. He can let Zeki go second, but realistically, it's looking dire. It really is. Now, Chief, you talk about big time plays. They need a real big time play here. Bang's gonna work the gen. Now hold on a second. Hold on. Bang's gonna pop this generator, and it's gonna be possible outs. Now, this is gonna be what? At the tie if Zeki dies, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but he's not gonna let Zeki go for free. We've already found Bang. This one tag was red vomit. We're gonna be stuck here, 8. We only have these LTs to work around. We still have so much red vomit at hand, and this is the problem that we saw. That's Bang on the ground. If Bang is camped to death, we still have a little bit of red vomit left. We have a basement to hook in. We need to get cleansing on the side of the survivors. We need to play for this, and if we give anything else up in this endgame, it will just be the loss. We cannot give up. Sorry, can I do math? Yeah, no, we cannot give up another stage. A single stage from this point for Renger will be the win. We do see Booster get cleansed. I'm sure Zeki will be doing the same very, very shortly. And if we do, the gate is open. It has to be that gate top. We know it can't be 6. They're not going to be able to get that gate open, Renger. I know you're vomiting on it just to make sure, but it's not happening. Trust me, brother. Zeki will get cleansed in the background. The unhook will cost an infection. Is he able to get an infection onto any of these survivors in the end game, it will just be the win. He needs to get this down. We will not be able to use Bang to body block for all that long. The gate is all the way at 3. His BT should run out before he makes it there. He will need to have a chase. And if any other survivor is infected, they will need to do the same. We effectively only have 1 pure body block. The others will come at a cost. So we already see Zeki here. I'm not too sure if Boosted is close by. I would assume he is. Yeah, we're coming in for the double. Look at that. Just take the trade, son. You don't even need the vomit. You can just take the M1. But we're getting body blocked here. Boosted's already sick. We see Bang is just stuck here. This is really problematic. We've tried to block him from the window. Renger has just not been able to with that swing. That's life as well. Oh my word. I actually think Renger might have just cost him a lot of ground here. This is really problematic. We do know that Boosted is sick, but he's all the way in the lead. Zeki's now down on the ground as well. Look, if any survivor is able to get down, if we do, we get the down onto Zeki, but Boosted, notorious for having the beam. We just, we don't even need to worry about it because we've got the red vomit, and guess what? That's just the game. Renger's taken the set, and because of that, Diamond Dogs win 2-0, Hasso.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Renger played that